Hey guys, so this is going to be my second installment of my sort of favorite products of 2009. The first video that I taped was my favorite foundations of 2009, and the reason I'm doing it in small series is because I had a really hard time sort of picking all the products and fitting them into one video. So I'm just going to do short videos and sort of talk about my favorite products, ones that I've really enjoyed throughout the entire year of 2009. I have switched a lot of products. I still use a lot of the products that I used at the beginning of the year, but I have incorporated a lot of new things because I've been trying and reviewing a lot of new products. So today's video is going to be about my favorite concealers in the year 2009. I would say that my top concealer, the one that I've used the most, and I've actually had to purchase a second of it because I used so much of it, was Select Cover Up from MAC. And I've talked about this before. I'm the color NW20. NW colors are really good for dark purple colors underneath the eye, and I have really dark hereditary under eye circles which are never going to go away from me, so I just try to conceal them as best as possible. But I really like this concealer because it is more liquidy and it blends really nicely into the skin. At the beginning of the year when I first started using MAC products, this was the only concealer that I used, but as I went back to the store, they actually recommended getting a different colored concealer that would be a little bit more appropriate for red spots on my face, but I have been able to actually get away with using just this one concealer for covering my under eyes and any red spots on my face. So then my next kind of favorite concealer is MAC's Studio Sculpt Concealer, and this is a really thick cream concealer that comes in a pot. I use the color NC20, and I use this primarily for red spots on my face. So for red spots or really bad acne that I want to cover up, I just kind of dot this on my face with my finger and then I blend it in. Most of the time, pretty much primarily all the time, I blend my concealer in with my finger because I feel that the warmth from my hand actually makes the consistency a little bit more blendable. And I have a little bit of a hard time using a brush when using concealer. Then my next favorite concealer would be Maybelline's Mineral Power Concealer. And I use the color Ivory Light 2-3, and I really like this concealer because it's very light. It's a little bit more liquidy than the other concealers that I use, and it blends really nicely into the face. This is kind of one of my everyday concealers. I really like to carry this around on the go. It's really easy to apply. I like that it has a wand that you can apply it onto your face. So that's my next kind of favorite concealer. One that I bought but I haven't used a ton of just because I have so many others, and this is quite similar to the Maybelline Mineralize. It's Select Moisture Cover in NW20 from MAC, and it comes in a tube just like this. They're very similar, you know, in terms of format. This one has a wand as well. This one is the color NW20, so I would use this more for under eyes. And the reason I got this, and it was recommended to me by a MAC makeup artist, was because I do have this little bit of a crease under my eye. Just naturally there's this crease in my skin, and sometimes if I'm not careful in blending in my product and I kind of pull my eyelid down a little bit and blend really gently into the eye, I'll get a little bit of a line of concealer that doesn't blend in really well. And she suggested using something like this because it is a little bit more liquidy and it's also very moisturizing, so it's going to blend really nicely into the skin and help to keep that eye area sort of moisturized throughout the day. I also just recently started using Boing from Benefit, and I use the color 01. Most of the colors I use almost the lightest shade, if not the lightest shade. And I really like this because even though it is a really thick consistency, it's much actually thicker than my Studio Sculpt from MAC. This blends really well into the skin if you sort of rub it between your fingers. And I really like the coverage it gives. It can be a little bit drying on the under eye area, so you have to apply it lightly and really make sure that you blend it in. I always make sure that I'm wearing a really nice moisturizer so that I don't have any problems of sort of dryness on the under eye area. But this as well works for covering up other spots on the face, so I'm really enjoying that. Then I also have Laura Mercier's Secret Concealer, and I'm in the color 1. This is a little bit, it's really thick and it's almost pasty-like in consistency, if I can describe the way it feels on your skin. But it blends really nicely into the skin, and I really like the color. It matches really well. It's kind of, I would describe as sort of like a salmon-y color. And I use this primarily for my under eye area, just because of the coloring that it is. And then the last concealer, and this is probably the concealer that I used most throughout high school and in the beginning of college. It's Almay's Clear Complexion Concealer, and it comes in a tube like this, and I am in the color Light 100. And this one is kind of in between a cream concealer and a liquid concealer, so it's kind of a little bit thicker format. Comes with a wand like this. I really like this concealer, especially if you're concealing on spots that you have acne on, which I used to have to deal with a lot in college. This one, what does it have in it? It has a little bit of salicylic acid in it, so it actually helps to fight your acne throughout the day while you're wearing your makeup. So I do like products like this. You have to be careful though with things that have salicylic acid in them because it can dry your skin out. So just make sure before you apply something like this that you do apply a moisturizer in the area before putting it on. But I really liked these concealers. I honestly have to say, I haven't tried a concealer to date that I didn't like. I would probably have to say, if I had to choose one as being my least favorite, would probably be, I would probably say it had to be Boing, but I do really like Boing. It just has the ability to be drying, and you have to be careful not to put too much on the under eye area. But other than that, like I said, Select Cover Up is my favorite. I like Studio Sculpt because it's really good at covering up pimples. Maybelline's Mineral Power Concealer is my favorite drugstore concealer. And I also really like Almay's Clear Complexion Concealer. I've also tried CoverGirl's concealer, which I think are pretty nice. And that's pretty much all I've tried to date. I have so many products, it's really hard to try to work through them all. And at this point in time, I have so much stuff, I really just want to work through what I have and then try and start buying some more new products so that I can test them out. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you have a wonderful day.